In the last episode, you built a rack system from scratch. You understood the 5-step pipeline: load, split, embed, store, retrieve. You asked questions about a company knowledge base and got accurate answers with sources. But it had two big limitations. First, we used hard-coded text. In the real world, you have PDFs, text files, web pages, Word documents. You need to load real files. Second, our system had no memory. Every question was independent. You couldn't ask a follow-up like, "Tell me more about that," or "What did you just say about the pricing?" Real chatbots remember the conversation. Today, we fix both. By the end of this episode, you'll have a rack system that loads real PDF and text files, remembers your entire conversation, handles follow-up questions naturally, and shows you how relevant each result is with similarity scores. Same stack. Grok for the language model. Hugging Face for embeddings. Face, pronounced face, for vector search. All free. Let's level up. Quick setup. Same packages as episode 1, plus PyPDF for reading PDF files. If you've already installed everything from the last episode, this will finish in seconds. Then, we load our Grok API key and initialize the language model and embedding model. Same pattern you already know. Same install as episode 1, plus PyPDF for PDF loading. The quiet and upgrade flags keep things clean. Then, we load our API key and initialize both models. Language model at temperature 0 for factual answers. Embedding model running locally on your CPU. Before we load files, we need files to load. I'm going to create realistic documents right here in the notebook, a PDF and multiple text files, so you can see the entire flow without needing to download anything. In your real projects, you'd skip this step. You already have the PDFs and documents. But for learning, this keeps everything self-contained and reproducible. I'm creating a startup's documentation, an employee handbook as a PDF, a technical architecture document as a text file, and a product roadmap as another text file. 3 files, 3 different formats, realistic content. First, I'm creating a PDF using a lightweight library called FPDF. This generates a real PDF file that a loader will read just like any PDF you'd get from HR or legal. The employee handbook has sections on leave policy, remote work, compensation, and professional development. Each section is detailed enough that our rack system has real content to search through. Now 2 text files. The technical architecture document describes the system design, databases, deployment strategy, and monitoring setup. The product roadmap covers features planned for the next 3 quarters. These are the kinds of documents that engineers and product managers actually work with every day. Now the fun part. Loading real files. LangChain has specialized loaders for every file type. Today we'll use two of the most common ones. The PyPDF loader reads PDF files page by page. Each page becomes a separate document object with the page number in the metadata. This is perfect because when you cite a source, you can say exactly which page the answer came from. The text loader handles plain text files. Simple but effective. One file, one document. The beauty of LangChain's design is that after loading, every document looks the same regardless of the original format. PDF, text, web page, they all become document objects with content and metadata. Your entire downstream pipeline stays identical. This is the universal interface pattern. Once loaded, everything looks the same regardless of the original format. Let me load all three documents. The PDF loader splits by page, so a two-page handbook becomes two documents. Each text file becomes one document. I combine everything into a single list. 4 documents total from 3 files. Notice the metadata. The PDF documents have both source and page number. The text files have just the source path. I'm printing a preview of each document so you can see exactly what the loaders extracted. Now, we run the same pipeline from episode 1. Split into chunks, embed them, store and face. But this time, I'm using a slightly larger chunk size, 1000 characters instead of 500. Why? Because our documents are longer and more detailed. Larger chunks preserve more context per piece, which helps the language model give more complete answers. There's always a trade-off. Smaller chunks mean more precise retrieval but less context. Larger chunks mean more context but potentially less precise matches. 1000 with 200 overlap is a solid default for most production systems. After splitting, we embed and store everything in one line, same as before. Split, embed, store. 3 lines of code for the entire indexing pipeline. 1000 characters per chunk with 200 character overlap. The overlap is larger this time because our chunks are larger. We want enough shared context between neighbors. Watch the numbers. We started with 4 documents. After splitting, we have many more chunks. Each chunk keeps the original metadata, so we never lose track of which file it came from. Before we build the full RAG chain, let me show you something new: similarity search with scores. In episode 1, we just got back the matching chunks. But we had no idea how similar they were. Was it a 95% match or a 50% match? That information is crucial. Face can return a distance score alongside each result. Lower distance means higher similarity. Think of it like a search engine confidence score. It tells you how relevant each result is. This is powerful for 2 reasons. First, you can set a threshold. If nothing scores above a certain relevance, you know the answer probably isn't in your documents. Second, you can show users a confidence level, which builds trust. Let me show you the difference. The method is called similarity search with score. Instead of just returning documents, it returns tuples, each containing the document and its distance score. I'll test 3 questions. One about leave policy, one about deployment, and one that's completely outside our knowledge base. Watch how the scores differ dramatically. The relevant questions should have low distance scores, meaning high similarity. The irrelevant question should have high scores, meaning the system knows it doesn't have a good match. Let me quickly build the standard RAG chain, same pattern as episode 1, so we have a baseline to compare with the conversational version. Retriever fetches the top 3 chunks. Prompt tells the language model to answer only from context. Parser extracts clean text. Quick test to make sure everything works before we add memory. Standard RAG chain. You've seen this before. Retriever with k equals 3, anti-hallucination prompt, and the chain connected with pipe operators. Let me test with a few questions across different documents. Now watch this. I'm going to expose the fatal flaw in a basic RAG chain. First question, what is the learning budget at Novatech? It answers perfectly. 75,000 rupees per year. Second question, does it carry over to the next year? And here's the problem. The word "it" refers to the learning budget. You and I understand that from context. But the RAG system doesn't. Each question is processed independently. There's no memory. No context from the previous question. So when the retriever searches for "does it carry over?", it doesn't know what "it" refers to. It might find documents about leave carryover instead. Or it might find nothing relevant at all. This is the classic follow-up question problem. And it's why every real chatbot needs conversational RAG. The solution? We need to rewrite the follow-up question into a standalone question before searching. Does it carry over? Becomes, does the learning budget carry over to the next year? Now the retriever knows exactly what to look for. Let me prove the problem first. I'll ask about the learning budget, then ask a follow-up. But this time, I'm also printing what the retriever finds for the follow-up question. This debug output shows you exactly why it fails. The retriever has no idea what "it" means, so it searches blindly and may pull the wrong documents entirely. Here's the architecture for conversational RAG. It has 2 stages. Stage 1. Question rewriting. Before we search, we pass the chat history and the new question to the language model. We ask it, given this conversation history, rewrite the latest question so it makes sense as a standalone question. Does it carry over? Becomes, does the Nova Tech learning budget carry over to the next year? Stage 2. Standard RAG. Now, we take the rewritten question and run our normal RAG pipeline. Search, retrieve, generate. The key insight is that we use the language model twice. Once to rewrite the question. Once to generate the answer. 2 calls, but the result is a chatbot that actually understands follow-ups. This is exactly how production chatbots handle multi-turn conversations. The pattern is called history-aware retrieval. First, the question rewriting chain. This is the magic ingredient. I define a prompt that gives the language model the chat history and the latest question. The instruction is clear: rewrite the question so it stands on its own. If the question already makes sense without context, return it unchanged. Let me test this with our problematic follow-up question. Watch how it transforms. Does it carry over into a complete, searchable question? Now the complete conversational RAG system. I wrap everything into a class to keep the state clean. The class stores the chat history as a list of messages. When you ask a question, it first checks if there's any history. If there is, it rewrites the question. If not, it uses the question as is. Then it runs the standard RAG pipeline with the rewritten question. After getting the answer, it saves both the question and answer to history. One important note. This is a simple memory approach. We store the full conversation as is. In production, you'd summarize or window the chat history to prevent it from growing too large. Long histories increase cost, add latency, and can actually degrade the rewriting quality. But for learning, this pattern shows you the core idea clearly. Let's test this with a multi-turn conversation. I'll start with a question, then ask follow-ups that use pronouns and references to previous answers. The exact scenario that broke our basic RAG chain. Watch 2 things. First, the rewritten questions. See how the system transforms vague follow-ups into precise standalone questions. Second, the answers. They should be accurate and relevant, using the right context every time. 5 turns of conversation. Starting with the learning budget, then asking follow-ups that reference previous answers. For each turn, I'm showing the original question, the rewritten version, the answer, and the sources. This makes it crystal clear how the rewriting works. Let me put this all together in an interactive demo. This time, the chatbot remembers everything you say. You can ask follow-ups, reference previous answers, switch topics, and come back to earlier questions. Try it yourself. Start with any topic from the handbook, tech docs, or product roadmap. Then ask follow-ups. Test the memory. Type reset to clear the conversation and start fresh. Type quit to exit. Interactive conversational RAG. Every answer builds on the previous ones. The reset command clears memory so you can start a new topic cleanly. I'll demonstrate a quick conversation, then hand it over to you. Let's recap what you accomplished today. You loaded real PDF and text files using LangChain's document loaders. You saw how different file formats become identical document objects after loading. You learned about similarity scores and how they tell you how confident the retrieval is. Lower score, better match. And the big one, you built Conversational RAG, a system that rewrites follow-up questions using the chat history before searching. This is the exact pattern used in production chatbots at companies handling millions of conversations. The two-stage architecture, rewrite then retrieve, is elegant and powerful. And now you understand every piece of it. In episode 3, we are going even deeper. Advanced retrieval strategies. Multiple retrieval methods combined. Re-ranking results for maximum accuracy. And metadata filtering so you can search within specific documents or categories. But right now, while this is fresh, run this notebook. Load your own PDFs. Have a multi-turn conversation with your own documents. The learning happens when you build. Subscribe to Notebook Learnings. Drop a comment with what you built. I'll see you in the next one.